Oh, I thought I'd come out to the log cabin today. It's 8 degrees out here now. I've got the fire on. I've got a few little tinkering about jobs to do. Come on, let's have a look with me. Right, well, I've not been out to the log cabin for quite a while now, and it's rather messy in here. I'll just let you have a little look around. Let's show you. Now, one thing I hate, or one of my pet hates, is a cluttered up workbench, and as you can see there, everything's cluttered up. I've been popping in and out of here, doing silly little jobs, and because it's been so cold, I've not really done anything. So I'll just show you around as well. You can see my lights there, obviously, but don't worry about them. But I've still got the axle in here. I started fitting the brakes and all that on the Reliant Regal, as you know, the trotter van. This side I've actually done. They're all on and fitted there. You probably can't see them properly there, but they're all done. And I was still in the process of fitting the ones this side, and as you can see, I've nearly finished them. I've got the little retaining springs to put back on, but I might be doing them today. I might get them done there. I've been doing a bit of sandblasting as well for Jimmy. I've got... there's another bracket in there, you probably can't see it. Let me get it out. This was for one of the bikes that he's working on. I think it was the GT 750 or something. So I started sandblasting this for him. And I've had to stop it because my sandblasting media... Now this is sort of powdered glass type media. And you probably can't see that now, but it used to be quite chunky. But where I've used it over and over again, it's gone down to a sort of a fine powder now, and it's not really got the size chunks. It's basically a dust now, and it's not really good enough for sandblasting. It takes a hell of a lot of time to do that. So I've got to refill my cupboard with this the sandblasting media, which means I have to go and get it. Now I've been getting it off of eBay, but the only problem with getting it off of eBay is that the postage cost, because you buy that in 25 kilogram bags. I probably want 50 kilograms to go in there, or maybe even 75, I'm not too sure yet, but to get that through a postal system, it costs actually more than the bags of media. So at the end of the day, there's a place in Spalding, which is about 20 miles from where I am, 25 miles, and you can go and pick it up there for £8 a bag, so I'm going to probably be doing that. So that's why I've had to hold fire on that job. And also, let me take you into the other room. I'll show you my other Reliant Regal bits, which I've got to sort out. I've got them laid out. Let me show you. Well, if we come through here, you can see I've got the there's the seats there. I got them off of Dan Clift, who's also a Reliant Regal restorer. I've got to sort out the radiator down there. There's the bonnet for the Triumph Acclaim there. That's just got to be resprayed. Still got to go on. Still got to be done, I know. With regards to the hydrographic setup, I'm not too sure exactly what's going to be happening with this now. I have cut the container down, but I may have to abort mission, and I want to use this space possibly for refurbing more parts or whatever. I'm going to try and do one project at a time once I get all these ones out of the way. So coming through to the back here, as you can see, we've got a host of Reliant Regal bits that have been sandblasted. Have got to be sandblasted. We refurbished the steering box there, as you remember. I've got other new brake pads and stuffs to go on there. There's the drums, which have got to go back on. There's some other bits that I've actually restored back to factory original, with the handbrake and the other bracketry and whatever. There's the heater box that's got to be repaired and repainted or whatever. So there's all sort of sheet metal parts that have got to be repaired and whatever in here. For example, this is what the cover plate for the heater matrix, and that's got obviously damage to that corner there. So I'm going to have to either remake one of these or repair and put panels in where it needs a bit of welding done or whatever there, as you can probably see. So that's got to be done. So yeah, as you can see there, a few bits that have been refurbished and repainted. The steering wheel's there as well. But yeah, I've got loads to do. So what I will do is, as the finer weather comes now, it's starting to warm up in here already now. I've got the fire on, but need to get everything cleared, clear the bases, so to speak, throw all the rubbish out, and start making plans to get in this working environment again. As I say, I've not been working in here for quite a long period of time now. That's got to change. I've got to get more active and get more stuff done. And as you can see, I was having a little bit of practice with the welding. As you can probably see there, I'll run a few welds. This is what I've got into the habit of doing now. when I'm doing any welding, just get a bit of scrap metal. This is, I don't know what size this is. It's quite thick stuff though, but as you can see, run a few beads and check it, turn it over, check the penetration or whatever, and see if you're welding with the right settings on your welder before you actually start the actual job. That's probably one of the biggest tips that I would give to anyone. Do some practice welds on similar sort of metal before you actually do it on the real job. And I've also got this little thing to repair today, so oh, pardon me, I've got to get my soldering iron out. This is for me, one of my granddaughters. It's a little light that's the cable's got ripped out, so I'm going to solder that up anyway. But yeah, I'm going to try and do a few little jobs today. May or may not be interesting, but it's a Sunday. I don't want to do too much, and it's cold out, although it's warming up in here. So I'm going to start off by just getting this soldered up now. So I'll see you again in a minute. Right, okay then. What I tend to do with these little low voltage things, if the cables do break, sometimes they are polarized, and that means that you have to connect them around a certain way, being low voltage. And I can see on here that it's a 24 volt output on this, and looking at the cables, you can't actually see that there's any markings on any one of the cables. Sometimes they give you like a line going down. If it's only a 2-core low voltage system like this, there's normally a line going down that can either identify a positive. So this hasn't got any markings on, and all I'm going to do, just to make sure that they are polarized, I'm just going to connect it up one way at the moment. Just again, not soldering them at the moment, just by twisting them together. And just to make sure that the power or the lights actually come on. If not, I'll change the connections around. So I'll just keep them separate for the moment. I've got a plug lead over there. Let's just unwind this. Keep the cables separate, obviously. Right, now I've just switched that on there and nothing's actually come on. So that tells me that it might need to be connected around the other way. So I'm going to do that now. Changing around the connections. I say normally when things have a polarity, in other words they've got to be connected a certain way, there's normally a marking on the cable, and there isn't in this case. So let's just connect that up the other way, and as you can see, switched it on. Now the lights come on, so that shows that that was what you call a polarized circuit. Again, this is electricity. I know it's low voltage, but don't you go doing anything like this or touching anything. This is just me doing this job and getting over this problem, and one of the things that I know what I'm doing with, because I was a previous electrician. So that now works, so I can now disconnect them cables and connect them up properly by soldering the joint. So that's what I'm going to do now. Right, okay then, so this isn't a soldering tutorial by any way. Again, depending on the circumstance, depends on how I solder. What I would normally do with wires like this, I'd normally tin them first, and then just lay them next to each other and solder them. Another thing you can do is to actually twist them together first and then tin them, and then that will be soldered as well. So just depending on the circumstance, with smaller cables you can get away with it. But I've also got some heat shrink here, which I'm going to slide on first onto each cable. As you can probably see, always worthwhile putting it on because it's very easy to forget that. But before I even do that, I'm just going to put these on here first. Let's put that there like that. Put the individual ones on first, and I'm just going to pull that. So the two that I've got heat shrink on at the moment are the two that are going to go together. I've got to separate them for a minute because I'm going to put heat shrink over the whole lot as well, and that just goes over both cables together, so that once I've actually done the individual ones and heat shrinked them, I can heat shrink the lot if I can get that over there. So the two that are heat shrink together will go together. Again, normally I would just tin them and just hold them together, but because I've got flux, I can actually do it like this, so I'm not too bothered about that. So that's that one first of all. Just get a little bit of flux. I do find that using the flux makes it run a whole lot better, so that's why I put the flux on. Like that. My soldering iron should be up to temperature now, but I'm just going to give that a dip in the old flux as well, and also load it with solder like that, and then come underneath my joint And as you can see straight away, I've only got a flash on there for a second and everything gets tinned absolutely lovely, and also the joint is then made. Now I've seen people do this online and they just recommend holding on, and you find all the insulation melts away and melts back. But as you can see there, the insulation's not melted back at all in my situation, because I put the extra flux on there, which is what produces the running effects of the solder in a very quick manner. As you can see there, everything's really tinned lovely there, and I'm just going to do that with the second one as well, so just bear with me and we'll do that one. And yes, even I've buggered up, because I've actually put both of them on one. I should have had one on each right there, as you can probably see, look. So I've got to cut that one off and then cut another bit to put on there, on this one, so that I can slide it over. So even that, with doing that, I'll make a mistake, but I'll just put that over there now. Look, I'll just show you what you do with that. So there's the heat shrink gone over there. It is handy if you've got them extra jaws that hold things in place like this. And as you can see, I'm just running the soldering iron over the joint, over the heat shrink, and it'll actually pull the heat shrink onto the actual joint and shrink it around, making a permanent cover for that bit of soldering which we've done. There you go, that's all shrunk up now, and that's one part of the joint done. So as you can see, it didn't take long at all. Everything's lovely, and I'm going to do the next one now. Having your wires absolutely spotlessly clean is also the key to getting a good soldered joint, so always make sure that is the case as well. And you watch it run if you can. There you go, just like that, absolutely done to a T. It ran a treat. The plastic insulation hasn't heated back, so we've got a lovely perfect joint there, and all that leaves me to do is to slide the insulation again over this one like that, get me soldering iron out for the second time, and literally just run it over the back of the heat shrink and make sure that it shrinks everything up as it's done now. And that is both joints actually repaired, and all I'm going to do is pull this heat shrink, pull the heat shrink over both cables, get our soldering iron again, and just again spread it over. And as you can see, it shrinks up nicely to do a nice job. I could have actually done with a slightly bigger size on this one, but I'm sure you'll think, see, that's the job done now. Happy days. Let's turn it on and see if it works. Right, plug her back in. And there we go, job sorted. In the safety of knowing, where is that joint? I've lost it. There we go. Knowing that that is fully protected and that's not going to pull apart. So there we go, simple little job done. Always handy, as I say, I know you get flux in these solders, but if you've got an extra tin of flux, it does help the running of the initial solder. And as you see, I didn't have to wait for them wires to heat up. I've seen people use the dry wire, what they're trying to solder together, and hold the soldering iron and the wire on there, and they're waiting for the actual wire to heat up and heat up and heat up, and that causes the insulation to start rolling back with shrinkage due to literally burning that. If you're using a decent solder and also a flux, you'll achieve that much quicker. And as you see there, once it took just a second or two for that solder to run lovely, and that reduced the risk of the insulation actually creeping back. That's how I've always done it. I've soldered for years and years, and it works a treat. Right, let's turn that off. Clear the decks now and start on our second little job. Right, okay, we'll let that cool down. Again, I need to sort my blinking workshop out, because I just throw all this sort of stuff literally on the shelf, and the shelf's up here, although there's stuff which I probably need. I don't know where it is, I don't know what it is, and it's all blinking everywhere, and it's bowing the shelves down. So everything's got to find a place, and I don't know where that is at the moment, so I'm going to leave that there until I get that sorted. But as I say, I've been doing loads of other little blinking jobs anyway. So I've got one of these OBD Maxi scanners. I only got this cheap off of eBay, and it just helps diagnosing when you get engine management lights come up on your car. These ain't very detailed in what they give you, but what they will do, they'll throw up a fault code for you, and in these books, for example, these are a list of all the fault codes in there, and that does all sort of different cars. So it's a worthwhile tool. They're not all that dear. So if you've got an OBD, is it an OBD? Yeah, an OBD2 socket in your car, which looks a bit like that, like a SCART socket. Might be handy tool to get one of them, and just to sort of, if you want to diagnose your own car problems or whatever before you take it to a garage. Because to take a car to a garage can cost £60 before you even have any work done. That's their hourly rate. But handy tool to have. This is only a cheap one off of eBay. Right, what else we got here? This is another thing I've picked up. We go shopping in Aldi now and again, which is a sort of a continental type food shopping place, and sometimes they have different types of stuff hanging about. Well, I picked these up. As you can see there, there's loads of bling brackets in there. I don't know how many exactly. Does it say? Yeah, 38 angle brackets in there. Now, if you buy these things individually, they can be sort of £1 each. And there's 38 different brackets in there, and they're on sale at the moment for £2.88 a packet while stocks last. So I've got a couple of packets of them, and they can just something handy to have laying about. So get yourself down to Aldi if you're here in the UK, and just check out their other stuff, what they have in the centre sometimes, and it's all sort of it can be anything. It's not just food or whatever. It can be sort of things like this, and I thought that was a good buy. £2.88 a packet of 38 angle brackets. Angle brackets can get you out of a load of trouble, especially if you haven't got a vice to, like I have, to bend the bracket over, and something like that can be very, very expensive if you buy them individually on eBay or down the hardware shop. Anyway, I thought that was a good buy. Let's put them over there for a minute. Again, I've got a place for them. I've got a set of drawers here, but I've just got to label everything up. Because I haven't been working in here for a while, everything's sort of, I'll just put that on the shelf, and before you know it, you've got stacks of stuff, and you forget that you've got it. So, anyway, that's just me. I'm starting to ramble a bit now, so I'll just put that up there for the moment. Look, that should all go in a drawer. All my soldering stuff should go in a drawer. I've got different type of solders here, which I could actually use for lead loading, I think, which I've been watching Dave Jaguar's channel, and he does a bit of lead loading, and I've seen other people do it with this sort of heavy duty sort of solder anyway. So that's something else which I'll be looking into. Again, solder sucker, if you've seen one of them before, you sort of press the plunger down, hold it over a soldered circuit board, and then when the solder gets molten, you suck it up and it releases, and then the components on a circuit board are never wound or twisted round like what you saw what me done there. You normally just dab solder, a tin of wire, hold it down, and then sort of solder it in place. You don't go wrapping it around posts or whatever like that. All components on a circuit board ain't twisted round. They're just held in a hole and solders blob around to make the joint. So it's the solder that makes the joint, not the twisting of anything. So anyway, that's that. So yeah, I should have a drawer for that one. What else have I got? I've got loads of blinking stuff. I don't know. Loads of stuff up there which I've had for years and years. But again, everything should have a little compartment. Right, well, I'm going to try and just clear the decks for a minute. I'm just going to put stuff away, and then I hopefully might be able to get on to do these rear brakes on the Reliant Regal. So I'm just going to have a quick tidy up now. I'll see you in a minute. Right, okay then, that's a lot better now. At least I've got a little work area now. You don't want to see the rest of it. That's going to take a lot of work to clear all this lot out and find places for all this sort of stuff. But yeah, I mean, I'm not one to work in mess normally. I can't abide working in mess, not knowing where you've put things down. So, you know, if you're working in a workshop environment, you know how important it is to know where your tools are. And that's one of the things which has eluded me over the last few years since my boys have got old enough to know what tools are for, so to speak. And to go to a place where you know where you've got something put and it's not there, and then to hunt for it, and then it's a mind-numbing situation where that can actually drive you crazy if you're someone who's been pretty organised with regards to looking after the tools and knowing what tools you've got, for example. But anyway, that's another story. we've always muddled through, we've always got there in the end. So I've got a few bits here which is for the Reliant, which I can't actually continue at the moment because, as I say, my sandblaster's down at the moment. I'm going to have to probably go out tomorrow, take a trip out tomorrow and get some new sandblasting media, because a lot of the parts that is holding me up for getting on with the Reliant involves me sandblasting parts and putting parts back together, sort of thing. Silly little things like this drum, for example. As you can see, although it's not too bad, I could probably paint over that, but I'd like to just give it a good sandblast. All the parts I'm taking off and getting ready for refurbishment have been sandblasted, so because I can't do this means I can't really assemble the front wheels and get the thing back on its chassis again. As I say, the only things I've got to do to this at the moment is to literally just pop them springs back on, put that back on, and drain out the fluid and put new gear oil in there, so that's got to be done still. Then that axle basically is ready to go back on. So I was going to do that today, but it's a Sunday afternoon now. It's about 2 o'clock in the afternoon, and my dinner's nearly going to be on the table. So I'm going to go inside now. I probably won't get these brakes done today. I'm probably going to do them tomorrow now. And rather than just tag it on the end of this sort of clear up soldering video, which I've done here, I'll create a whole new video for me actually putting that back into or onto the chassis, getting the wheels put on temporarily so that I can actually get the chassis on the floor. I know there's a lot of people waiting for the Reliant Regal videos. I haven't done one for about 3 months now, to be honest with you, and that's due to other I do have family commitments as well, obviously, and we've got things that we like to do during the day. We have other businesses which we run, as I say, which we've got to get on top of. I have loads and loads of emails and questions that I have to answer, not only in the comment section but also private emails that come through to me for my other sort of YouTube channel which I run, and that involves me sort of answering questions to people who require my help, so I have to do that as well. So just because I'm not actually physically putting up a video on the Reliant, there is a reason for that, as I say, because life gets in the way and it's not a main priority that I do that. I've still got the Triumph Acclaim to do, as you know. I'm hoping to get that finished this year, and we're now in March. As I say, it's the start of March now, so January and February have gone. Now's the time to clear the deck, so to speak, and start making goals and moving forward with getting more and more of the content out that you like to see as well. So all the stuff you see on my videos is stuff I actually get up to during my normal day-to-day stuff, and that's what I'm hoping that gets across to you. We like to have a fun and laugh and joke and all that, and hopefully we get that across to you. A couple of other channels to mention as well, which I like to sort of try and help other subscribers. One is Dave Jaguar 66. If you I'll put the link in the description below as well. Dave's got a nice E-type Jag that he restored. I think he's in the process of doing an XK150 now, and he's also restoring a classic Mini at the moment. And I mean, way back 30 odd years ago, I used to work with a fitter, like a plumber fitter sort of thing, and he used to lead load pipes and all that, and swipe joints and all that. So I've done a bit of that way back then. But as far as transferring that skill onto car bodywork and using lead as a medium to create a finished surface, which is far more stronger than Bondo or filler or whatever. So if you're doing restorations on a car, you want to put new metal in and you can't actually create the new metal, or you've got pinholes and stuff like that, lead loading is another great way to do that. And if you have a look at Dave Jaguar 66's channel, that's Dave Turner. I know you'll be watching this, Dave, and hopefully get a few subscribers off of this. It'd be nice to see Dave up over 1,000 subscribers. He's up to about 800, I think, at the moment. And let's see if we can get Dave over 1,000 subscribers. As I say, he does the same sort of stuff, working on cars and all that. And very handy chap to know. And also he's got a few little new pieces of kit which he'll show you in his videos. He's bought a stud welder and spot welding tool and all that. And he's got videos on all that to show you, in case you may or may not be interested in sort of purchasing that sort of stuff. But just have a little look at Dave's channel as well. And also another channel is Matt Green as well. This is only recently one which I found, and that was only through Dave. Matt Green also is restoring a classic Mini as well. And yeah, I think he's nearly doing daily vlogs, video logs on his little restoration, what he's done. And he's done quite a few, as I say, on this. Another interesting channel. If you want a quick view of someone doing up a car, then these are ideal little channels at the end of the day. So do check them out. I'll leave links to both of them in the description below. And if you can, give them a subscription, give them a subscribe, and let's get their channel ratings up as well. One little thing about subscribing and thumbs up on a video, a lot of people probably don't know this, but I know a lot of people watch my videos or people's videos on YouTube, and you can't leave a comment or you can't leave a thumbs up because you need to create an account. Now that frightens a lot of people when they're sort of watching YouTube videos. Oh, I don't want to create an account, I'm giving too much information away. Creating an account for a YouTube just means literally you're registering to have information via your channels that you choose, which you like on YouTube. They'll send you a link saying that, oh, Martin Butler's uploaded a new video, Dave Jaguar's uploaded a new video, and it lets you create your own playlist, so to speak, of people who you really want to watch, rather than watching stuff that you don't really want to watch or that's put in front of you. Because even though you haven't got a channel on YouTube and you're not registered with YouTube, you'll still get loads of random videos when you click on your YouTube link of videos which you're probably not interested in. So rather than see loads of videos that you're not interested in, just register for a YouTube account, and that way when you click on your YouTube page, you'll just see loads of links of relevant content which you may be interested in, and you'll find out more about what you're interested in as well. So it's worth having a YouTube account, even if you don't upload videos. That's the point I'm trying to make there. Anyway, I'm going to finish this here. I'm starting to ramble now, and my guts are starting to rumble as well. So rambling and rumbling aren't two good things, and I'm going to sort them both out now. So I'll see you in the next video, and until then, bye for now.